Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Robert Cook, Vice President of Academic Affairs and Dean. I'd like to welcome you to the 138th commencement ceremony at Keystone College. First, it's my pleasure to introduce Attorney Charles Consagra, who will deliver this afternoon's invocation. Attorney Consagra is a partner in the law firm of Needle, Goldenzeal, Pascal, and Consagra, and since 1980 has been an adjunct faculty member at Keystone College. Mr. Consagra.
Let us all bow our heads. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you today and acknowledge your hand in our lives. We look on this commencement as a recognition of the opportunity to grow in knowledge. Grant that we never enjoy the comfort of an opinion without the discomfort of thinking. During this time of transition, we ask that you bestow upon each of us faith, courage, and service, so that wherever our journey takes us, we may grow inside ourselves, learn the ways of gentleness, embrace the sick with healing, comfort the oppressed with justice, take only what we need from the earth, be servants in the cause of peace, thankful for the miracles of those who love and sustain us, and may we all be alive with hope in the future. Amen.
I'd like to introduce one of our students to lead us in the singing of the national anthem. Kelly Iovino, would you please come to the stage? She's already here. Kelly is from New York City and is a communications major here at Keystone College with the class of 2010. Kelly?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, give proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now I'd like to introduce the members of the stage party. First and foremost, President of Keystone College, Dr. Edward G. Beam, Jr. Our distinguished guest today and keynote speaker, Dr. Roscoe Brown. The first vice chair of our Board of Trustees, Mr. Harry E. Dowling, class of 1969. Dr. Patricia Miller, Vice President and Dean for Student Affairs. We've already met Mr. Consagra. Kurt Stevens. who is the president of the Keystone College National Alumni Association and trustee. And Samantha Watkins, a very special guest, our outstanding graduate. I'd also like to note some special guests in the audience, some of our trustees and their guests, Dr. Betty Turok and Dr. Gus Frederick. Letha Reimheimer, trustee. Dr. Gino Mori. Diane Paparo and Carl Neurath, who has disappeared. James Reed and Karen. And our First Lady, Regina Beam. Now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the person who, since 1995, has provided the leadership that has absolutely transformed and continues to transform Keystone College. Our president is extraordinary in that he knows our students as individuals and cares for them as individuals. He works tirelessly to ensure that the best possible environment for learning can be found here at Keystone College. He is a scholar, a gentleman, and a man of great compassion. He is dedicated to lifelong learning. He holds himself to the highest ethical standards. He is always curious and always civil. And if those words are familiar to our graduates, it's because they're from our mission statement. President Beam exemplifies the mission of this great institution. It's my pleasure to introduce him.
See, the other thing to keep this moving for you to enjoy today, we have a book here. And we're supposed to turn the page of the book and keep going. But you know, that was such a beautiful rendition that made us think about the reason we're here today. Students, you can think back on somebody who was important, your family, your friends, people you met here, and of course your faculty. Think of this field right now, and I see that we have the banner. This is our 140th year. Samantha was the very first person to carry it, and it now is a part of our life. It'll always be a part of the class of 2009. I looked over a little bit, but we were singing the national anthem and thought that's another reason, and the idea that Dr. Roscoe Brown would join us today. The mighty Harris you see on the hill was built by the families. Today is Armed Forces Day, and we celebrate all those who served and all those who will serve. In fact, Bridget Ruddy from our group, as soon as graduation's over, she will serve. Bridget, are you here? Will you go off and take our prayers and our... Thank you, Bridget. We know what the reason we were found, there was something called the Civil War, or the war between the states. From Wyoming County, this was Wyoming County then, the 105 marched off, and many did not return. Emancipation Proclamation was a result of Antietam. The end of the war began at Gettysburg, and they fought in both and didn't return. So the family said, what is the most significant thing we can do to remember those fallen heroes? And the idea was there was no school between Scranton and Binghamton, and they created the school, Harris Hall, and the first graduating class was down here of only 14 in 1871. And then who arrives, and you're going to enjoy him so much, Dr. Brown becomes a part of us. So that there's all circle and it's all family, and you're part of that family. Now there's another part of our family who's not here today, and that's our baseball players, because they're still playing in New Jersey and they're still winning and they still are in the cup. They just won. So who knows, by the time we leave here to go to the reception, they might have clinched a berth and then they are in the final playoffs before they go across the country to represent Keystone. Isn't it amazing? It had been Christy Matherson, and now it's the baseball team. But you know what? That represents time and effort, every one of you students here. And I just better stop for a minute. I think the other thing, when I said that many of our young men did not return all across the country in wars. There were those who didn't return. So on this day, for armed forces, could we have a moment of silence? Those who did not return to this area or Keystone, same went through all the wars. Thank you. Now you might notice that we have the Garden of Flags right up in front of the Student Center, and that represents all those who didn't return. And so that's why we pay special tribute. Now we move on to today, and I look at you, and we talked before we started this trip together. But many of you, how did you get here today? How did you arrive where you are in that seat today? It took a lot of people. It took support. So what I'd like to do, if you are the family, a member of the family of any graduate at Keystone College 2009, would you stand up for a minute? Any member, any title of every family. Thank you. Now, your family sent your son or daughter, niece, nephew, grandson, granddaughter to us. And then our family inherited them, proudly so, where we know our students not only by their names but by their dreams. And as Dr. Cook said, civility, honesty, curiosity, and progress through effort. What does it mean? It means everything you've done. Well, here on this campus, our family is waiting, so we could please have the faculty, staff at Keystone College to stand up. Would you please stand up? What do you think, students? Of course, graduates, we're all here for you. So we saved your honor for last. Would you stand up so we can say congratulations, your hard work's paid off and you're here today. And your trustees have been acknowledged. They come here because they love what you do at Keystone College. They spend their time and effort behind the scenes to make this a wonderful place. Trustees, would you stand so we can say thank you for the quiet work you do behind the scenes? Of course, Dr. Cook, thank you for remembering First Lady Regina Bean, because without her, so much wouldn't happen. Regina, thank you. All right, then also there I do see two friends, special invitation from Dr. Brown. I see Jim and Karen Reed, so thank you for joining us. All right. Who is this man? Dr. Roscoe C. Brown, Jr., a name he's fully proud of, named for his father, a distinguished physician and a member of Franklin Roosevelt's kitchen cabinet. So we know that Dr. Brown is a member of the famous World War II Tuskegee Airmen. As an Army Air Force captain, Dr. Brown commanded the 100th Fighter Squadron of the 332nd Fighter Group, which became known as the famous Tuskegee Airmen, the first African-American military pilots in the United States. He was awarded after his distinguished service the Distinguished Flying Cross, an Air Medal with 8 oak leaf clusters. He's credited with being the first from our side to shoot down one of the German jets. Also, he was a great athlete, tremendous provision and perseverance, all went into that. But that became example for all and gave us an extra sense of courage that we could do it. The next happened, he's been honored by the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum for his outstanding leadership as a squadron commander. Dr. Brown completed his military career in 1949. Dr. Brown earned his PhD from New York University and served more than 25 years as a full professor there. It was the founding director of the university's Afro-American Affairs. Dr. Brown completed a 16-year tenure as president of Bronx Community College, and he created the Center for Urban Education and the SUNY Graduate Program and University Center. He's received numerous awards and honors for scholarly and community activities. Among them, the NAACP Freedom Award, the Congressional Award for Service to the African American Community, Distinguished Alumnus Award, and many others at his alma maters. He was inducted into the National Association for Sports and Physical Education Hall of Fame, more recently bestowed the honor, truly a New York City treasure, by the Museum of City of New York. And let me know, Dr. Brown, you are a treasure of Keystone College, established right here in La Plume, Pennsylvania, and we're honored to have you here. Please welcome Dr. Roscoe Brown.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's a great day to be at Keystone, and it's a great day to graduate. And for the parents, I know you say, thank God. The bill comes later. I'm particularly pleased to be here with my good friend, Ned Beam. As you know, Ned Beam is not only the leader of his college, but he's the head cheerleader, the head marketing director, the head advertising director, and the head spiritual leader of his college. Let's hear it for President Nate Beam. When you give commencement addresses, there are two things that you're supposed to do. One is to be short, and the other is to be inspirational. I'll try to do both because I have a topic today that is really today's topic. And the topic of my talk is today's challenges, tomorrow's future. You already have an idea of what these challenges are. We have the greatest economic challenge to our society since the Great Depression. 2 days ago, 700 Chrysler dealerships were closed. Yesterday, 1,100 General Motors distribution dealerships were closed. Banks, Wall Street firms are having difficulty. And I hope for the sake of our graduates, the unemployment rate seems to go down so that all of our graduates can get jobs. Isn't that right, graduates? That's exactly right. We also have a crisis in global peace and global interactions. Because of what has happened since World War II, and particularly what has happened since our invasion of Iraq, we have many problems throughout the world that we must address. Clearly, with the advent of nuclear weaponry and new nations acquiring nuclear weapons and nuclear capability, we must find a way to bring these many continents and many peoples and many religions together. That is our challenge in terms of global peace. But again, this planet is only one part of a larger solar system which is being threatened by ecological challenges. The environment, global warming, solar energy, radiation, pure water. Those are all challenges that we face. I know as I click off all these problems, you're wondering, well, how am I going to do anything about it? Well, give me a minute, I'll tell you. But basically, we live in a world which is no longer an isolated world. Keystone College was founded in 1868, right after the Civil War. Since that time, we've gone through the Western expansion. We've gone through the Spanish-American War, where American imperialism took over Cuba and other places. We've gone through World War I, which was the war to end all wars, only to lead to World War II, which we hope would bring about a one world, but led into the Cold War, where we're fighting about nuclear energy and nuclear proliferation. And now we have this major global economic crisis. The economic crisis just isn't in Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. Just as in Wall Street, Chicago, and Los Angeles, it's in New Delhi, it's in Mumbai, it's in London, it's in Paris, it's in Johannesburg, it's in Beijing, it's in Guangzhou, it's throughout the world. So we're not living on this planet just as people who live in La Plume and go to school here. We're living in a planet that encompasses all of us. So our challenge, and the challenge of the graduates, and to those of us who are parents and grandparents, is to find a way to make this a better planet, to survive as a culture, respecting each other's differences, each other's beliefs. This is where education comes in. One of the things about education, not only does it teach us skills in the business area, in the medical area, in the technical area, in the environmental area, but it helps us to understand the scope of history, how we got to be where we are today. And sometimes when we examine how we got to the way we are today, sometimes part of that history isn't very pretty. We have a history in this country of slavery, of people owning other people. Fortunately, because of leaders, many from this area, many from the white community, the black community, we had abolition. We fought a civil war to end slavery. Then we had the question of the rights of women. To what extent were women recognized in the Constitution? Not at all. Not until 1920 with Susan B. Anthony and the women's rights movement did we get women's ability to vote. And then we had the whole question of the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, where even after the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th and 14th Amendment, still in many parts of this country, even when I was a young person, blacks couldn't ride public accommodations with whites. They couldn't go to school with whites. They couldn't get jobs. They were discriminated against. We've had that background. But we also have a new era. The sun is shining again today, just as we did this commencement. But on November 4th, the sun shined on America, where in the presidential election, we elected Barack Obama, the first African-American president of this great country. A change in the way in which this country is operated. So therefore, our education gives us an awareness of the history of the past, but the challenges of the problems of the present and the problems of the future. And what education does is to give us those analytical abilities to look at those problems, to figure out ways of attacking those problems, to use technology in a way to deal with poverty, to use that technology in a way to deal with healthcare, to use that technology in a way to deal with the environment. It also helps to give us the values and the commitment to do something about it. As I stand here and as I talk, I know each one of you are thinking, what can I do? How can I, as an individual, make a difference on these problems? As many said, it takes one person to start a move. It takes one person to start a movement. Each one of you 330 graduates, have those skills. Each one of you, many 2,000 people who are parents and grandparents and supporters, have those skills, those will to make a difference in this society. And this brings me to Keystone College. What is Keystone College about? Keystone College is about helping people to get the skills to help other people to make this a better community, a better state, a better nation, a better world. The mission of the college clearly indicates that we need to work together to improve the quality of life, not just for ourselves, but the quality of life for every person in this community, but not this community, because as I said before, the community is the world now. We should be as much concerned about AIDS in Africa and poverty in India as we are about poverty and housing in Newark, New Jersey, or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We need to be concerned about that. But again, what our education at Keystone has given us and given you are those skills and those insights, whether it be in healthcare or nursing or education or technology or the environment and the culinary arts, the many, many great programs that you have here. But it's given you the commitment to use your skills, your insights to improve the quality of life for everyone. I have a great belief, having come to Keystone with my friend Nate Beam when he first started here as a president some 14 years ago, and to see just how this college has grown, just how the commitment in the community has grown, just how the trustees and the faculty have worked in this college, I know it can be done. I had a little thing I told President Beam at lunch. From where I came, Keystone has moved 1,000%. However, the goal is 2,000%. And I know we're going to do it. You understand that? When you get to a certain point, there's more expected of you, there are more challenges, and you can handle it. And for you as graduates, particularly you bachelor's graduates, because when I came here, we were just starting the bachelor's program, you should be so proud of where you are and what you've accomplished. When you walk out of here with your Keystone diploma, associate or bachelor's, and you say, I'm a Keystone graduate, that means something. That means that you have put the investment into it, but it also means the faculty and the trustees have supported you. And most important, it means your parents and your guardians. So what I do at many graduations, having been a college president, is to ask the graduates to turn around and face the parents in the audience and say thank you. So could the graduates stand, turn around and face your parents, wave your hands and say, congratulations, thank you so much. Here, here, let's do it now. All right, let's see them, because they're the ones. Doesn't that feel good? I know for the parents and the grandparents, it makes you feel good. For the graduates to say, thank you for what you've done for me. And then the next step is, what am I going to do for you? Given the spirit of the college, given the experience you've had here, given the challenges that we face today, I feel confident that tomorrow's future is going to be better because you, the graduates of Keystone College. Thank you very much, and good luck in your future. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Very good.
Okay, we can stay right here. Okay. Roscoe, look at that audience.
Thank you.
Now, don't you move. Thank you all. That meant so much, Roscoe. You can tell they're inspired. You know that what's going to happen now was approved by the board yesterday afternoon, but only if you were able to get a standing ovation today with your remarks. And so this will now happen. The students have spoken, and these wonderful people. Now you stand here, and I need Harry Dowling, first vice president of the board, Bob Cook, and turn the page. All right, Bob, would you bring it up so I could read it, sir? What we've done is the trustees, he was nominated, and the trustees approved an honorary degree for Dr. Roscoe Brown from Keystone College.
Thank you.
Now,
Very good. Thank you.
Harry, hold that. What it says, together with the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, in witness thereof, the seal of the college and the signatures is authorized by the Board of Trustees, and we'll add, and supported by the students. Today's demonstration by a standing ovation are hereto affixed, awarded Keystone College, La Plume, Pennsylvania, the 16th day of May, 2009, and it is the honorary degree in human letters to Dr. Roscoe C. Brown, Jr.
Oh, thank you. There we are. Thank you.
Can you see that? And one more thing. Harry did that because only a trustee can present you with the award and stick there while you get your picture taken. Now, the second thing is Bob Cook, as the dean, is the only one that's allowed to give you your hood. And Harry, will you help him? All right, you have so many honors and hoods and diplomas. We hope you'll love this one, and we hope you'll wear your Keystone hood with honest integrity, which you always do, and a wonderful spirit, Roscoe.
What I say, I'm a Yankee and Dodger fan, blue and white, but today I'm orange and blue. I'm a Giant fan for Keystone Giants. Here.
Let's get a shot of that. Thank you, Dr. Brown. Boy, what a wonderful way to get started. And now, you've heard our distinguished speaker from outside, but he's now an honorary member and a part of this family. There's another member of the family we're going to meet right now, Samantha Watkins. She's going to graduate today with a Bachelor of Science degree in Environmental Biology and magna cum laude. She's been an active student researcher. In fact, her work was selected for this year's first ever undergraduate research celebration. At the same time she was doing that, she was spending extensive time practicing for a play. That's one of the best Jane Honchel said she's been able to do in 14 years. And she was the lead of Blanche. She played her so well, we thought Amantha had left us, but it didn't happen. And Streetcar Named Desire, Tennessee Williams would have loved the way that was done here at Keystone College. Her future plans include graduate school, entering a PhD program in ecology, and she is going to think about a focus in ornithology. She works summers at the Institute, the KEEL we call it, the Keystone College Environmental Education Institute. Her peers and faculty are proud to honor her today as the 2009 Outstanding Graduate. Please welcome Samantha Watkins.